Hi, I'm Scott Humphrey, CEO of the World Floor Covering Association, and this is the Masters edition of Leadership Live. Well, maybe not Masters, but I do want to talk to you about golf, and this is Masters weekend, so it seemed like a pretty fair introduction. There's so many things you can learn from the game of golf that apply to your life and that can make your life better, easier, and as a leader, certainly can make you better at impacting the lives of others. So let me give you a couple of those things, and then I want to end with a story that you might have heard before, but certainly is challenging. It challenges us not to be limited by what we think is possible. So the first thing I'll tell you about golf is that it is standardized with rules, and that rules do matter. It's a great lesson for us. Rules matter, but rules do not have to be limiting. They don't have to bind you. So yes, there are certain guidelines and rules in golf. And one of the great things about golf is it is self-maintained, self-controlled. In other words, if you break one of those rules, you report on yourself. So integrity really matters. But remember, even though you're limited to the number of clubs in the bag, you're not limited to how you use those clubs or necessarily where you use them on the course. So as a leader, there may be guidelines and boundaries around us that somewhat challenge us, but it doesn't keep us from being able to be successful. We still have the tools available to us. It's how we use them within the parameters that are set out for our success. Rules matter, but they don't have to bind you. Number two, golf teaches us the art of listening. One of the rules of etiquette in golf is that when another player that you're playing with approaches the ball and is ready to hit their shot, that you are silent. It's amazing what you can glean when you're silent. Often in golf, as we are silent, we're watching the other person hit the ball. Then we follow the trajectory of the ball so that we can help them find where they hit the ball to. Let's put that in real life terms. So often when we take the time to listen, we hear what somebody's motivation goals, what their desires are, what's their vision, what do they want to accomplish, and then we can help them get to where they need to get to for their next step. That's what leaders really do. I think some of the best time I've ever had in sales and different other areas of my life is having 4 to 5 hours alone with somebody in a golf cart so that we could get to know each other, that we could communicate, but we also understood the value of silence, truly, truly listening. The third thing I would tell you is that every day you have an opportunity to get better. It's one of the things I love about golf. I'm not a great golfer. I'm what I call a social golfer. I love the interaction that happens on a golf course. But I also know that if I don't play well today, I can play better tomorrow. I can play better on a given hole. I can lead better in a given circumstance. You're not bound by your past. As I've said multiple times, the past is a great place to learn. It's a terrible place to live. And golf reinforces the fact that there's always tomorrow. You have an option. Finally, I want to close with a motivational story that teaches you that you do not have to be bound by your limitations. Charlie Boswell has long been one of my heroes. Charlie was the national blind golf champion. Not born blind, he was injured in World War II trying to save a friend from a tank, and he was blind. But an avid athlete before his blindness, he decided to take up a new sport when he got back. And the sport he took up was, of all things, golf. You can imagine trying to play golf, having not played it before, but playing it blind. But Charlie was so good at it that he was, as I said, the national blind golf champion for 13 consecutive years. One day he was honored to get the Ben Hogan Award for his accomplishment. And he got to meet his hero, one of the greatest of all time, Ben Hogan. And he said when he met Ben Hogan, "God, I've always wanted to meet you. I've always had the goal of playing a round of golf with you." And Ben Hogan said, "Well, I've read about you, and I'm a fan as well, and I would love to play a round of golf with you." And Charlie said, "Well, would you bet with me?" And Hogan said, "Oh, no, I couldn't bet with you. That wouldn't be fair." And he said, "How about $1,000 a hole?" He said, "Listen, I can't take advantage of your situation and bet with you. What would people think about me?" And so Charlie Boswell looked at him and said, "Are you a chicken?" And Ben Hogan was up to the challenge, and he said, "Absolutely not. I'll play you." But he said, "I'm going to do my best. That's the only way I play." And Charlie said, "I wouldn't expect anything less." Ben Hogan said, "Well, then you name the place and the time." And Charlie Boswell said $1,000 a hole tonight at 10 o'clock. See, Charlie Boswell he already knew how to play without seeing, but Ben Hogan did not have that advantage. He took what many people would see as a challenge and turned it into a positive. My hope for you as leaders is that you learn some lessons from the game of golf this weekend, even if you just watch it for the beauty of the course. But you apply these lessons to your life, not simply in living, but in leading. Be a better listener. Obey the rules, but use the tools. And remember that every day you have the opportunity to get better. You are not bound about what many people see as your limitations. So enjoy the weekend. Watch a couple of rounds of golf. Spend time with family, friends, be an influence, and go out there